So for people with very short cycle, they actually get pregnant without knowing. There are situations where as a married woman, you're pregnant and your child is just maybe 7 months, you're pregnant again. And that pregnancy to you, you are like, no, but I've done it. The reason is because you had very short cycle. You are thinking that, no, since my normal period has come, so therefore me having sex at this time I cannot be pregnant. Most of these pregnancies that you don't understand how they came about is because your cycle is very short. When you have very short cycle, you will get pregnant immediately after the flow. You will be pregnant. Yes. Immediately after the flow, you will be pregnant. Oh, sorry, Sister Stephanie. Sorry about that. So you will be pregnant immediately after your flow if your cycle is short. If you have very short cycle, you will be pregnant immediately after your flow, because your fertile window for somebody who has a very short cycle, like a 21-day cycle, the fertile window starts from day 21. From day 3. And is the day that most ladies, if not all, flow for at least 3 days. At least 3 days. Yes. Most ladies actually flow for at least 3 days, because the normal menstruation days is between 3 to 5. Yeah, it's between 3 to 5. Sister Stephanie, I know you will still catch up. It's not really bad. We've not gone that far. We are still, so I know you will still catch up. Even with the other videos that are uploaded, I believe you will still catch up. So it's well. Be strong, sis. So most ladies with this very short menstrual cycle, they don't even know. They just get pregnant and they are like, what's happening? I said just 1 day after my flow, just 2 days after my flow, you will get pregnant if your cycle is very short. 21-day cycle, 22-day cycle, 23-day cycle, 24-day cycle, you will get pregnant immediately after your flow. You will get pregnant. That's the first reason. The second reason why ladies get pregnant without knowing, thinking, is because it's been linked to the first. Now the second has to do with you actually being very young. Your eggs are still very fresh. I can remember as a child, when growing, when we used to pee, we would stand and we'll put our urine, it will be like, it can even fly above somebody's head as a child. That's to tell you the vitality, the way your cells were active. But now, as you're growing, that pee gradually starts going down instead of going up. So the urine rather goes down. That's to tell you that as a young person, your cells are much more active than when you are becoming matured and getting older. So same for young women. You know, for those who have been here, we actually said, as a young lady, as a lady, you're actually born with your eggs. A lady is born with all of the eggs that she will need. It therefore means as you're getting older, you age with the eggs. So a lady of 20 years, you should expect a lady of 20 years to have you are maybe 35, 38, 40, or 30, or even 28. So a lady of 20 years should have eggs that are more viable, that can easily be fertilized, than a lady of 28 years, a lady of 30 years. That's for sure. Once you can understand that, then you will see why at your very young age, you were able to conceive with no assistance. But now you're 35, 40, you're 28, you start saying that, oh, you need some fertility build-up, or you've been trying to get pregnant, you've been having unprotected intercourse for some time now, and you can't get pregnant. It's because the eggs are also 30 years old. The eggs are not 21 years old. The eggs are 20 years old. And 21 years and 30 years, of course, it's a difference of 10 years. That's much. So because these eggs get older with you, we expect that your fertility will not be that excellent if you're 30 and above, as compared to someone who is 21, who is 18, who is 16, who is 17. So that's the second reason why young ladies will get pregnant without knowing. Because they are still young. Their eggs are still very young and much more fertile than someone above 30 or in her 30s. So having intercourse, having coitus on within your fertile window, you'll see that pregnancy just comes without you even, maybe you are thinking, because in your head you are like, no, I am not fertile, whereas you're fertile without knowing. But for somebody who is maybe 30 years and above, having coitus within her fertile window, you see that it might take some time. Yeah, some may just get pregnant, but some might take some time. Some might take maybe even like a year. But as everything being the same, it's just that they are 30 and above, and they're taking a year. They don't have any STDs. They don't have any other infection, but they're taking a year because their eggs are much more older as compared to people who are 21 years of age, people who are 18 years of age, who are 17 years of age, who are 16 years of age. So if we can understand these two major factors, the first one, you can control it as a young lady. The first one, which is the menstrual cycle, is to understand your menstrual cycle. So you will get pregnant because you don't understand your menstrual cycle. You are thinking that immediately after your menstrual cycle, immediately after your menstruation, you have some safe days. No. As a 21-day cycle person, as a 22-day cycle person, as a 23-day cycle person, and even as a 24-day cycle person, please, you are not safe immediately after your menstruation. You are not safe. What do we mean? You are very fertile immediately after your 21 days, if your cycle is 22 days, if your cycle is 23 days, and even 24 days. Let us look at the fertile window. If your 21-day cycle, your fertile window actually starts from that day 3 that you're menstruating. If your 22-day cycle, your fertile window starts from day 4, and day 4 will be the first day immediately after the flow of most ladies, because some will flow right up to 5 days. Thank you very much, sis. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because day 4 is the first day after the end of menstruation to most ladies. If your 22-day cycle, your fertile window starts from day 22, day 4. If your 23-day cycle, your fertile window starts from day 5. 23, your fertile window starts from day 5. And day 5, to some ladies, they are still menstruating. To some that have stopped menstruation, it therefore means they were thinking that is their free day. But if your 23-day cycle, your fertile window begins from day 5. If your 24-day cycle, your fertile window begins from day 6. If you're 24, your fertile window begins from day 6. And day 6 now, that is when 90% of our ladies, they are getting out of their menstruation day 6. Yeah, because the normal menstruation is between 3 to 5 days, meaning about 90% must have finished menstruating. So that day 6, if your 25-day cycle, you're fertile on day 6. Your fertile window starts from day 6. So you see that if you were like, no, you don't even know your cycle, and you say, no, let me give 10 days. I bet you, even 8 days, you will conceive twins. You will conceive twins. I bet you. Yes, I bet you will conceive twins. Yes. So as young ladies, the first issue is this menstrual cycle. Yeah. Most do think that no, I should give immediately after my flow. I'm not I cannot be pregnant. So I should give 4 days. I should give 5 days after this before I can get pregnant. Some say 8 days. 8 days is even terrible, not to talk of 10 days. So that's the first, the menstrual cycle. The second is actually the age, like I said. So the age has to do with the egg. So your eggs are still very much younger. So any sperm cell can easily penetrate. Any sperm cell can easily fertilize those eggs because those eggs are fresh. They are much more fertile. So like we said, you're born with all of your eggs from day 1. As your mama born you, they born you with all of your eggs. So as you're born with all of your eggs. And because you're born with all of your eggs, then you are actually getting older with your eggs. So as you're very young, the fertility of your egg is probably much more better as compared to someone who is 30. So that's the second reason why you can get pregnant without knowing as a young lady. Your eggs are still very much younger and much more fertile than someone that is older. So that's the second reason. And this second reason is a reason that you cannot change as a young lady. You cannot change. It's just nature. Yeah, it's just nature. You cannot change the second reason. But the first one, you can manage it by making sure that you understand your menstrual cycle. Once you understand your menstrual cycle, the first one will be solved. But the second one, I'm sorry, you cannot change it. Yeah, the second one, you just need to agree and you make sure that you respect yourself when you think that you can be pregnant. If you think that you can be pregnant, please respect yourself. Respect yourself. Yes. If you can respect yourself, then you see that it's going to help you much. Yes, it's going to help you much to actually avoid unwanted pregnancy. Now the next thing is, as a young lady, this one has to do now with being naive at your age. Yeah, you are naive and you think that you should just enjoy the act. Maybe you don't have any plan, just say, no, let me just enjoy the act. Probably I can get pregnant, or maybe I will get up and I drink the whiskey, you will get rid of it. Because some talk about whiskey, some talk about drinking salty water, some have some different things that they take, thinking that if they drink, they won't get pregnant. I don't know about salt and water. I don't know, please, if you're watching me right now, please, I want to ask about salt and water. That's salty water. If it does protect you from getting pregnant, please. The science behind it, I cannot really understand the science behind it, because salt and water is sodium chloride. Salt is sodium chloride, right? So salt and water is sodium chloride in a solution, right? Sodium chloride solution, right? So sodium chloride is actually normal saline, right? That's normal saline. So although maybe it's normal saline in very high dosage of the salt, but I don't know. Please, if you're a young lady and you'll be using salt and water to avoid pregnancy, please let us know in the comment section, please, just so that you'll be using it. Sister Apple, say, I don't know, have you ever tried it before? Please, if you're a young lady watching me now, have you ever used salt and water to avoid pregnancy, please? Have you ever used salt and water? The salty water, that's putting salt in water, drink it immediately after coitus to avoid pregnancy. And I don't know how effective it was. Was it really effective? Was it really effective, sis? Sister Yvette, have you ever tried that? Was it really effective? I want to know if it was really effective. Because the truth is, I try to understand the science behind it. And it is not possible to just discredit everything because you think that it is not scientific. At times, so it's good to allow people to do things. There are some things that we don't, maybe science cannot really understand at the moment, but in time, science will actually understand what is going on. So, but okay, well, maybe it's working, but now, I wanted to talk about the third point, which is young ladies being naive, thinking that, okay, I can just get pregnant, I can take anything and I will not be pregnant. Then, before I mention the salt and water, or salted water. So, salt, which is our sodium chloride, that is the table salt, which is our sodium chloride. When you mix inside water, it becomes like your normal saline. To Sister Gaia, I don't know if Sister Gaia is watching. Sister Eposi, I know she's also a big colleague, and any other health worker watching. Your normal saline. Okay, let us just think about you drinking your normal saline. We know normal saline is some sort of a normal. Sister Pamela, that it is a magic. Oh, thank you. I really wanted to know if it's working. I really wanted to know if it's working. Okay, because normal saline in the system, it is isotonic. Now we have hypertonic, we have hypotonic, we have isotonic. Okay, we have hypertonic, we have isotonic, we have hypotonic. Hypertonic meaning highly concentrated, isotonic meaning the concentration is okay to the system, while hypotonic meaning the concentration is lower. So if you take salt and water, salty water, that you want to avoid pregnancy, I am sure it should be hypertonic salty water. Maybe with that, the science behind it will be defeated. Because if you take hypertonic salty water to avoid pregnancy, the salt in it will be somehow really concentrated. And if the salt is concentrated, obviously then it can defeat the nature by actually causing some damage to. Sorry, our network is really lagging. So anything that you take, okay, network is back, I'm sure. So anything that you take to avoid fertilization, then you will not be pregnant. So I'm saying that what? In solutions, we have hypertonic solution, we have isotonic solution, we have hypotonic solution. Hypertonic, that is when the concentration is higher than normal. So if the concentration is higher than normal, okay, I don't know, please, is the network okay now? Is the network okay now, please? I don't know, please, is the network okay now? I just believe it should be okay. Sister Dean, you are saying that I guess if the salty water, it should have a specific time or concentration to take. Yes, I think so. Sister Yvette, is the network okay, please? Sister Yvette, is the network okay? Yeah, the network was really lagging. Some these MTN people they are calling, I don't know, trying to call and be disturbing people here about their promotion stuff. Yeah, Sister Eposi, I really do think that the concentration will probably have something to do. The concentration has something to do. The concentration and the time which you take, I think, has something to do. I think if you take immediately within a 24 hours time. All right, thank you very much, Sister Pamela. I think if you take immediately within a 24 hours time, that's not even a 24 hours time. I think immediately after that is maybe some few, maximum should be maybe an hour, 2 or 3, and the concentration of the salt is really high, then it could prevent the fertilization of the egg. Maybe if because the solution will no longer be isotonic, the solution will no longer be hypotonic, the solution will be hypertonic. Like I said, hypertonic. Yes, because normally hypertonic solutions are highly concentrated solutions that have very high amounts of the solute in it, while hypo is solution with very low solute in it. So but the normal saline that is being given for infusion, if Sister Gael, if you're watching us at the moment, Sister Eposi, I know, Sister Yvette, or is it Pamela? Are you also in the medical field? Because I saw some discussion. Yvette and Pamela, sis, are you also in the medical corps, please? So maybe the hypertonic solution can actually help you. I don't know. Yeah, when it's saturated to over, I think maybe it can help. But like I said, I don't know the science really behind it. Maybe it's something I would probably need to do a study. If it can work, then why not? That would be the easiest way. Therefore means there is no need going to be buying some sort of emergency pregnancy pill to avoid pregnancy. Just go and drink the thing. If it does work, maybe we'll do some sort of extra work on it. Okay, Sister Eve, what about Sister Pam? Is she in the medical corps? Yeah, Sister Yvette, I'm asking, is Sister Pamela in a medical call? Well, sister, okay, no, no, I was saying your post. Is it Pam? I'm sure it's Pam, right? Yeah, I'm sure it's Pamela. I was seeing her post, thinking that she's in the medical call. That's what I was asking. It's okay, sis. Don't bother. Medical call is not really. My question is, all of this solution doesn't really get to the reproductive system. Yes, it doesn't get to the reproductive system like directly, but when you drink it, it's being digested and it goes through. I think that is just the sense behind it. All right, all right, sis. And Sister Dean, I don't think that it's like you drinking your postinol, right, to avoid pregnancy. If you drink your postinol to avoid pregnancy, you're drinking because you know this postinol contains hormones, and this hormone will be circulated in your bloodstream. I think that if you overconsume salt, because the issue here should be the salt in very high quantity. When the salt concentration is higher, then maybe there is the science behind it which we don't know yet. Yeah, maybe there's a science behind it which we don't know yet. Like I said, I think it's something that we really need to study it. You know, us Africans have our own way of doing things. Maybe that would be our own magic. If we actually study it and it works very well, it can be our own magic. So I hope so. I hope we can do some study to really understand this aspect of salt and water, because a lot of ladies do say it. I was talking about being naive as the third reason why most young ladies get pregnant. Another thing that they take is whiskey. Now for whiskey, whiskey is actually alcohol. I think for this one, I can say that there is maybe some science behind it. Yeah, you're right, sis. Yeah, sis, I was just thinking that probably maybe we don't really know the science. Maybe there is a science behind it that has not been studied. And you know, sis, the issue too with posting with some of these ways that people use that are not medically proven is that some of these medical people, some of these big pharmaceutical industries, you know, they will not like you to also have a cheap way. It's just like they say, okay, let us start using fuel, let us start using water as fuel. I bet you they will not allow you to start using water as fuel, because these companies that produce fuel need to feed. So there are some of these ways that we do that can also help us, but because it has not been studied, because we need that they should study it. Yeah, we need some of these special laboratories to do some of these tests and come out. Yeah, do a survey, give it to ladies, and come out with some of or maybe some of the results that you can come out with it. Because the truth is, we might be saying that this thing is not like it doesn't go bird, whereas it actually works, but we don't know. We should just maybe give a try, and try as Africans to also try and do maybe some of our research and do our study, maybe try to do a study in a greater scale. Because if you can have a result, let me say do a study of about maybe 1,000 people, and you get a result, a very good result, I bet you that result will help a lot of people. Yeah, that result will help a lot of people. Please give me 1 minute. Yeah, so I was saying that as Africans, I think, and not only Africans and other people who actually maybe have been doing some of this natural method, I think we need a better study. If we can have a better study to actually do such that we can know exactly what's happening scientifically, we'll see that we can help ourselves. The only issue will be that these big pharmaceutical industries will come. You want to do a study like that, they'll be thinking, oh, so people don't want to buy treatment, you want to buy what drugs, you want to do your thing so that it will be free. Because just imagine that there is a proof that salt and water can actually prevent pregnancy. I bet you all the postinol and all the menstruation and all the other, everybody will be salt and water now. Everybody will be salt and water, and that will break the company completely. So I do really think that to do a study like this is difficult in this 21st century and above. Yes, it's very difficult because most of these big companies, they are going to see that this is something that they want to bankrupt them. Yes, but it is good to do some of these studies as Africans, and most people that try some of these natural methods, some of this other orthodox way of getting help, it is good to also do a study. When you can do a study and then you come out with exactly what could be going on, then it's good. I've heard so many things in this hour. I tell you, sis. So the next thing, I was saying that naivety is a next reason why most young ladies get pregnant. So the first reason is you don't know your menstrual cycle. Some of the ladies, most of the ladies that get pregnant are ladies with very short menstrual cycle. They think that they will not get pregnant after maybe 8 days of seeing their menses, whereas if you have very, my stream wanted to go off. I don't understand what happened. Okay. From Coca-Cola, Duchin, salt, and other use happy clocks. Andrew Liverson. Sis Asia. No, but the thing is, with this issue, a lot of people try a lot of things, sis. A lot of people try a lot of things. There are things that people, once you can tell a sister that, okay, I tried this thing and it worked on me, they don't want to know the medical reasons behind it. They just go on and try it. What you can, and especially when people are trying to get a remedy to something, they just say, no, I need anything that can help me. I need anything that can help me. So they go on and take whatsoever. So you're really right to say that a lot of things nowadays are being taken. Yeah, a lot. I really do hope that maybe a study can be done on some of these things, although it is our place to pursue some of these studies. Yeah, especially when we have the financial means, because to make a study too is not easy. The financial means too, if the financial means is there, then if I tell you just work in the family planning sector, and you will be things you would okay, you that means yes, all sort of stories from ladies what they take. Some of those things are causing fertility problems. When we go ahead to take a lot of these stuffs, maybe without even thinking about the dangers behind it. Okay, let me say for someone who is hypertensive, that sodium and hypertension, they are not brothers, they are not sisters, they are not even neighbors. Yeah, they are So if, let me say, you go on to take salt and water, for example, a high concentration of salt, and then you also need to understand that salt is sodium. And if you are hypertensive as a lady, excuse me, if you are hypertensive as a lady, you go on to take salt and water, then you know that increase in salt can affect your hypertension. So at times too, we just take anything to help us without thinking about the dangers that thing can cause. So it is also good that we also look at the dangers that those things, that particular thing can cause. If we can look at the danger, then we will not just go ahead to take. Because one of the good thing about Westerners too, the Western treatment, Western style of doing things that all of us are following now, is that they try to come up with exactly the side effects of you taking this thing, how you could feel if you take this thing, what are the dangers if you could take this thing. But in the normal African culture, we just go ahead and we take a lot of stuff without actually thinking about the dangers involved. That is so risky at times, so risky. So I opened my lovers. I don't know if the noise is actually disturbing. Sister Dean, please just confirm. Is the noise from the Okadas that are passing, from the bikes? I don't know if the noise is really disturbing. Let me know so that I can close the lovers. Is any person around? Is there any person around? Please just confirm to me if the background noise is really heavy. Let me know. Let me just close the doors. I just closed the lovers because probably those who can maybe trying to watch the video later, they may have some difficulties. Okay, so I think the third point is naivety. Just like I said, naive. Young ladies. Most young ladies, they were just like, okay, there's nothing. Let me just enjoy the moment, and you don't think about, can I get pregnant? Can I actually get pregnant? Because if you think about the fact that you can actually get pregnant as a young lady, I bet me you will think about protecting. Yes, but if you don't think about getting pregnant, then it is difficult. You probably just going to eat, taking nothing to actually protect, prevent the pregnancy. I think that is the third reason. The first being in the menstrual cycle, second being the age, third being the fact that we are naive. Yeah, as young ladies, just being naive. And most of the times too, as young men, as we were growing up as well, you get into coitus just for pleasure, and maybe you don't even think about, oh, come on, I can get pregnant. And if I can get pregnant now, or I'm having intercourse with this lady, I can get pregnant. What if I am pregnant? What is the way forward? What do I have? Can I take care of the pregnancy? So as a young lady, because you might not think of the fact that you can take care of the pregnancy and all the light. You see that in naivety, you're just naive about you are just interested in the act. You are not thinking about, oh, can I take care of the pregnancy? What become of my education? Am I going to stop my education now? So all those things, if you think about it, and as a mature person, I bet you always think about all of this. Yeah. But as a young lady, maybe 16, 17, 18, you hardly think about some of the future, what surrounds you, having a child, taking care of the child, making sure that that child has everything that the child will need. You see that it will be difficult. Yeah, it will be difficult for you to take note of all of this. So with that, you can easily get pregnant without knowing, because you don't put all of that in your head. But once you put all of these things in your head as a young lady, then you will not get pregnant anyhow. You will think that, hey, come on, I can get pregnant with nothing. I don't have money. My partner doesn't have money. Can we take care of this kid? I am still in Form 5. I'm still trying to finish school. So you don't have all of this in your head. But once you start having this in your head as a young lady, you see that it is actually going to solve a lot. Yeah, it's actually going to solve a lot. It's going to help you know that now getting pregnant now will actually hinder maybe my education, or maybe the child too will not actually have the best in life. So if we think about this, you see that as a young lady, you will not just get into pregnancy. Yeah, you will not just get into pregnancy. So naivety, to be naive, is another reason why young ladies do get pregnant. And the naivety goes along with all what we've been talking about. That is what you take to avoid the pregnancy. You might be shy as a young lady. Normally you are 16, for example. How can you go to, unless your eyes are really dry, like nowadays we have ladies with very dry eyes. You cannot just go to the drugstore that, hey, you want posting. No, you're 16. You're 16. I know to us here in the country, they don't check on all of that. But in the Western world, I believe that having coitus with a lady who is maybe, I think, younger than 17. I don't know for Spain, Sister Eposi, I don't know. Is it younger than 17 for Spain? Is it younger than 17 for Spain? Because I think United States, France, I don't know, I think they do have a 16 or is it 17 years of age. So if you have intercourse with any person younger than that age, you're considered underage. Yeah, you're considered underage, which is terrible. Therefore, means that child cannot even go somewhere and start doing something. Okay, it's 18. 18. All right. Okay. Thank you. So you see that age, for us here, there's nothing guiding us. Maybe at 13, they fit carry you game and couldn't chop all money. So it's terrible. It's terrible. Yes. But in the Western world, it is well calibrated, such that you can actually not be getting into something without you being at least 17, at least 18. Yes, which is really good. Okay, you're saying that you have people who are 17 and they're married and they're pregnant that way. But when you have ladies that are 17, Sister Eposi, if you have ladies who are 17 and they're pregnant, is it considered underage there? Are the people sued or how? Are the people actually sued? I don't know, Sister Gael, I don't know if you're watching, Sister Pamela and Sister Yvette. I don't know if you're watching, please. I don't know, in the country which you find yourself, do you know about the age? I know it's a Muslim country, and to us Muslims, maturity is considered, if you are 13, you're mature. So I don't know, please. Okay, but when they get pregnant like that, can you know for me the child can sue the man or how? I see. But can the child sue the man If, let me say, you are pregnant to a man, you are 17 years, can you sue the person? According to the law, because if the law says, okay, you should be 18, can you sue the man or how? Because I remember Longue was locked up in France because of underage, right? Okay, so that is our third point why young ladies can get pregnant. Yeah. Okay, all right. That's our third reason why young ladies. Like the first one is the menstrual cycle. Second is actually their age. If you're young, you can. If you're younger, you can get pregnant easily than someone that's older. And the third one is naivety. If you are too naive, you don't really know the big steps to take. Or even the parents to the guidance. I see. That's interesting. 17 years is a very big age. You can even have 4 children now. Yeah, you can have 4 children, no problem. It's good that at least they do take all of those steps, but if good things, we do support them. Okay, I see. Then that's beautiful. Yeah, it therefore means Spain is also doing it well. That's wonderful. But then, because it's also good to protect all of these things, this teenage age, when after you just leave your puberty, is a very difficult age to everyone, because once you're mature, you know that age is a tough age. Yeah, but when you are within that age, you don't understand the toughness in it until you pass through the age. Then you can understand how tough that age is. That age group is so tough. Yeah, it's so tough. If you are not very strong at times, yeah, it's difficult to pass through. It's really difficult to pass through to some people. Yeah, it's really tough to go through. So if they can put some of these things to actually protect the teens, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so we have 3 major factors here. The first factor being that you don't understand your menstrual cycle. So if you don't understand your menstrual cycle, it's possible that you can get pregnant easily. The second point is your age. As you are still very young, your fertility is so high. The third one is being naive. So if you're naive, it's possible that you can actually get pregnant easily. You just go into it without thinking about any other thing. You're just like, let me just do it. Then you can. The next one also, this one, it will not be like you don't know, you actually know. It will be something like a peer pressure. We have communities where getting pregnant at a very young age within our area is like some sort of a proud thing. It's unfortunate, yeah, because even in my own village, you see young ladies getting pregnant, like, do you have a child? Somebody, a lady of 18 telling the other one, I have 2, how many do you have? So you see that is a major factor. That is a major, and it is so cruel, it's so bad. Yes, at that age, we should not be thinking of. We should be thinking about building ourselves for the future. Yes, should be thinking about building for the future. So if we can actually be thinking about building a future, then we'll see that you don't actually start bragging at your teenage age that you should start having kids without thinking about how the kids are going to be to grow up and all those things. So in communities where you have people just like they are happy that at the age of 15, 16 they have kids, then such community, of course, you expect that many things will be pregnant within that community. Yes. And this goes along with peer pressure. Peer pressure, you see your friends, they're all pregnant, they all have partners, that's boyfriends, so you're like, as a young lady, come on, I should have. And having a boyfriend at that age, probably you don't even understand how to protect yourself. So that peer pressure and the fact that many other people around you already have kids. So if you're 17, for example, maybe you have someone who is younger than you with 2 kids. You're just like, oh, what's happening to me? Is it I cannot get pregnant? So you see that it is really, really terrible. Yes, although this reason is not longer common as it used to be. Yeah, this reason used to be really, really common, but now it's not really common. Yes, but it is still within our communities. Yeah, this particular reason where you see very young ladies get pregnant and they are bragging about it. Yeah, bragging about it, saying that I'm pregnant and you're not. Yeah, so if we all can see into it that this reason, put it behind our mind as young ladies, why should I get pregnant now? Why should I get pregnant now? If you can answer that question, why you should get pregnant now as a young lady, I believe it's going to help you. Yes. But to understand, you need to first of all understand your cycle. Your cycle should be the very first thing that you understand. Once you understand your cycle, I bet you it is possible that you are actually going to know exactly what to do. It's possible that you're going to learn something. You're going to know how to build your family. Because if you cannot answer the question, why am I getting pregnant now? Then it will be difficult for you to build that future. Yes. Because pregnancy has a lot to learn within and after that. So the advice, please, as a young lady, try to answer the question, why am I getting pregnant now? Why am I getting pregnant now? Yes. If you can answer the question, thank you so much, Sister Jane. Thank you so much. Why am I getting pregnant now? Then it is possible that you actually know exactly what to do. But like I said, the very first thing is understand that very short cycle, you can get pregnant immediately after your flow. So if you have very short menstrual cycle, you can get pregnant immediately after your flow. That one should stick in your brain. Understand that. Once you can understand that people with very short menstrual cycle, they can get pregnant immediately after their flow, you will see that you yourself will try your best not to get pregnant by understanding that your cycle is very short and you can get pregnant immediately after your flow. But you cannot just do this by maybe just like, no. You must understand how many days cycle you are. So the first step, you must learn the menstrual cycle. So if you're a young lady, maybe you just came across this video, please, if you have been pregnant before, which you didn't want the child, and you've been thinking, oh, what even got me pregnant? I did everything. Now, yeah, the reasons why maybe you were pregnant without knowing. The first one is that you didn't know that your cycle was short. You didn't know that your cycle was short. Once you understand that your cycle is a short cycle, you will be able to avoid it by knowing that immediately after your flow. Rather, if you have a very short cycle, you should count at least 15 days. Count at least 15 days after 15 days for intercourse. So count at least 15 days as a young lady. Count at least 15 days from the time that you saw your period. Count at least 15 days and know that within these 15 days, at least if I have a short cycle, I will overcome. But also understand that people with very long cycle, their fertile days after by the 15 days, after the 15 days. So what are we saying? The best thing is for you to understand your menstrual cycle, know how many days cycle you are. But if you think that your menstrual cycle was very short, just count at least 15 days and you keep it away. Count at least 15 days and keep it away if you have a very short menstrual cycle. But if you have a long menstrual cycle, like people with 35 days, somebody with 35 day cycle will be fertile right from day 17. So you see that somebody with 35 day cycle, the ovulation occurs on day 21. So day 21, the person will ovulate. Day 20, the person is fertile. Day 19, the person is fertile. Day 18, the person is fertile. And day 17. So from day 17 right up to day 23. So you have day 17, day 18, day 19, day 20, day 21, day 22, and day 23. So for someone who has this very long menstrual cycle, that is 35 day cycle, then you will be fertile on day 17 right up to day 23. So the best thing to understand, the very first point for you not to get pregnant easily, is to understand your menstrual cycle. Understanding your menstrual cycle is key here. Once you can understand your menstrual cycle, I bet you beat this point. Yes. So please, if you're a young lady watching this, maybe you come across this video, there are 4 major points. The first one is to understand your menstrual cycle. For people with very short menstrual cycle, it's possible that you can get pregnant without knowing, because you will think that after your menstruation you are free, that you have a free time that you cannot get pregnant with us. You don't. The next thing is age. As a young lady, you cannot defeat age. You cannot defeat age. As a young lady, your eggs are still very vital. They are still very mobile. They are still very fertile. Meaning that you can easily release an egg as a young lady. Then someone who is maybe above 30 years, it is possible. So as a young lady, if you're still very young, understand that your age, as you are, you can easily get pregnant than someone that is more than 30. Because you can get pregnant at that early age, please make sure that before you go into intercourse, you should understand yourself very well. Therefore, point 1 is very important here in the second point. So before you go into it, keep away your fertile window completely. Your fertile window should be kept away completely. Once you can keep away your fertile window, it is going to help you. Now, I said if you have a very short menstrual cycle, then your fertile window will begin immediately after your menstruation. Meaning, day 3, once your menstruation stops, you are already fertile. So if you start flowing today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, you are fertile. If your cycle is day 21. So, because you are very young, which is the second point why you can get pregnant without knowing, because you're very young, you should understand the menstrual cycle when you are fertile, when you are not fertile, and make sure that you take all the various steps. The menstrual cycle is a complicated thing. It's not just as straightforward as maybe most people do think. The menstrual cycle is not just as straightforward as we may think. It is something you need to learn it, please. As a young lady, as a lady, please. The menstrual cycle should always be in your fingertips. It should not be a misery, or it should not be something like a myth to you. You should understand it. You should understand your menstrual cycle. Very important. So, on point 2, because you are very young, your eggs are young as well. So if you're 20 years, know that your eggs are also 20 years. If you're 30 years, know that your eggs are also 30 years. If you're 50 years, know that your eggs are also 50 years. So a lady that is 16 years old has an egg that is just 16 years old. A lady that's 20 years has an egg that's 20 years old. Obviously, that age with the egg, the age of the egg has a major factor to do here, because the age of the egg will probably be more eggs that have a younger age. Those eggs will be much more fertile compared to people with eggs of maybe more than 30. So put that in mind, that you were born with all of the eggs that you need, and as you are getting old, your eggs are aging with you. So you age with your eggs. A woman is born with all of her eggs and she ages with the egg. So you go along with your eggs. It therefore means, as a young lady, you might get pregnant without knowing when you are 18, 19, 20, because your eggs are still very, very fertile. Because your eggs are very fertile, you don't know. You don't know. You just have intercourse within your fertile window, you're pregnant. So that is the second point. The first one being understanding your menstrual cycle. You need to go and learn it. As a young lady, go and learn your menstrual cycle. Go now. Make sure it could take about a week or even a month to learn and understand your menstrual cycle. It is some sort of a joy that you understand your menstrual cycle very well. It is not just as simple, as straightforward as we all may think. No. So the first one is understanding your menstrual cycle. Second point is your age. You're very young. You can get pregnant easily without knowing. The third one is that you're naive. As a very young lady, you just think that no, you should get pregnant. No. You just think that if I have coitus today and I take salt and water, like we were saying, and I will not get pregnant. Like I said, we don't have a scientific proof, but if you can do that, it is always good that you take other means. The best thing I always avoid is, please, we should use latex condoms to avoid intercourse. That is one of the best ways, because at least it will protect you from STIs. Yes, use it. At least it can protect you from STIs and also pregnancy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're really joining us when we are about running up. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. Innate family and lifestyle. Thank you very much. So I will just run through what I am just trying to say. The innate family. I will just try to run through what I was actually saying. I'm giving out reasons why you, as a young lady, why young ladies, maybe as an individual, you may have faced it. You have kids, you have friends, so that they could actually face it. Now, there are 4 major reasons I've given. There are 4 major reasons why I've given why you can actually get pregnant as a teenager. The first one is the menstrual cycle. Understand your menstrual cycle very well. Know that people with very short menstrual cycle can get pregnant immediately after their flow. The next thing is